Now, I was asked this question the other day by one of the people on my email list. He had asked me, do you use or have you used a pen name in the past, and if you do, have you any thoughts on how to come up with a good one? Now, this person, I think, was interested in getting into fiction, but maybe they were just a little bit shy and maybe they wanted to hide behind a pen name. Now, when I started off, I probably naively went under my own name. So if you do an Amazon search under my name, you'll find my kids' books. But after a while, I got fed up doing children's books, and I wanted to stretch myself just to see if I could go, take my writing up another level. So I went into adult fiction. I'd gone into the romance genre, which I'm here to tell you, if you get wrong, those people will absolutely slaughter you. But I wanted to give it a go. I wanted to see if I could write romance fiction. Again, my wife is laughing at that thought of me writing romance fiction, because I wouldn't call myself, like most men, I probably wouldn't call myself the most romantic person in the world. So the thought that I was going to be writing romance fiction, is laughable. But anyway, I said I'd give it a go. So I knew that, again, I couldn't use my real name, because if somebody was doing a search on the Amazon store and they found my kids' books and maybe found my romance books, it might cause a little bit of confusion. But you can do that if you want to. You can maybe go under your own name. But if you are writing maybe something like, if you had maybe some non-fiction books, or maybe you had kids' books like I had, and you were thinking of maybe getting into erotic fiction, well then I would say no, don't use your real name, because you don't want some parent going looking for a kids' book and then finding that you also write erotic fiction. That may cost you sales in the long run. So if you are maybe going into maybe a genre that's a little bit risky, or it's going to maybe tarnish your reputation, or maybe hold your reputation in a different light, I would recommend going with a different pen name. So when I did get into writing romance fiction, I knew that I would need to change my name, not only just for me to hide behind it, because I hadn't much courage in my writing then, and I wanted to see if I could be accepted, or if I could write a decent romance book. So what I did was I went to, again, if you do a Google search, you will find name generators. Now, I had found the name generator, and what I did was I looked for an American type name, female, and I let the software come up with my name. So the software had come up with, I forget, it was something Harper or something like that. Harper was the surname anyway, so I liked the surname. But what I did, again, just linking maybe my wife to it for a laugh, I put my wife's name as a first name. So if you do a search in the Kindle store for Catherine Harper, you'll find books that I have written under that pen name. Now, when it comes to choosing a pen name, like I did, if you are maybe going into a genre that is filled with ladies, or maybe has a lot of lady readers, I would go in under a female pen name, because if you go in under a man's name, you're going to find a lot of people will probably make the presumption that you're a man. What would you know about writing fiction? Again, like my wife said about me, what would I know about writing fiction? So, if you are going into a genre or something like that is maybe, the majority of readers or writers in it are female, well then I would go with a female pen name, because if you do go in maybe under a male pen name, it probably is going to affect your sales, because women, again, all of us do, people are going to make a judgment on your pen name and assume because you're a man, you're writing something that female readers, read a lot of, that your books aren't going to be any good, and it probably will affect your sales. You mightn't sell as many sales as if you had chosen a female pen name. Now, you can test both this out. It's very easy to change your name in the Kindle store, change a couple of book covers, and then all of a sudden then you can go from male to female. So you can test it out if you want to, but maybe an easier way would just be go to directly to choosing a female pen name. Now, another tip I would give you when it comes to coming up with a pen name is have a look at the names that are in your genre. Now again, if I give you two examples of a pen name, if I give you something like Melody Williams, and I give you a pen name like Karen Slaughter. Now, if I asked you which one do you think would be a romance author and which one would be a thriller author, I'm sure if you play with those two names, you're probably going to think, well, Slaughter isn't really the type of name I would expect someone who writes fiction to, to have that as their surname. So immediately, again, like a book cover, if you go into a genre, usually you can tell what niche you're in or what genre you're in by the type of book covers that you can see. So again, too, you will find that too with the romance genre, the thriller genre, horror, and all those different places. You will find there's a trend in that also. You will find that somebody who maybe is writing romance has maybe a soft-spoken name, or maybe has something like Tiffany or Melody or Harmony or something like that, which is kind of calming and soothing, whereas someone like a surname like Slaughter, that kind of just sticks in your mind. And if you were writing romance books, that would be the last pen name that I would choose, because it would just conjure up the wrong idea in your reader's mind before they even bought the book. It would put them off unconsciously straight away. So again, have a look at the pen names that are already in that genre. Try and just kind of not copy them, but just kind of get a feel of, how does the name actually sound to you as you read it out. Now, what you can do if you want to is, if you have maybe an unusual surname, maybe you could use that to your benefit. But for example, if we have a look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he started off in the movie business, he was told straight away to change his name because nobody was able to pronounce it and nobody was able to spell it. But in his first movie, I think was Hercules Goes to America, I think that's the name of it, they had renamed him as Arnold Strong. So they had taken the Schwarzenegger off and called him Strong. So again, it probably conjured up of him and his muscle Strong, and that kind of came over in the name. But he didn't like it. He wanted to go back to his original name. Now, it has stood to him in the long run. A lot of people now can pronounce his name, and if you're really, really good, you may be able to spell it too. But he had used that to his benefit because it stood out from everybody else. Now, if you have maybe an unusual surname, you could, if you want to stick with it long term, you don't want to change your name, that might stand to your benefit, because if somebody is doing a Google search, or an Amazon search for that name, there's not many people going to show up and you're going to stand out. But think about the pen name that you're going to choose. Have a look at the genre, what other people are using. You will find maybe people who are in the thriller or horror or those kind of adrenaline pumping books. You will find maybe they have kind of short, snappy names that are easy to remember. So maybe have a look at that if you are maybe into that genre. Is come up with maybe a snappy, I'm talking like Sean Connery now, a snappy surname that is memorable. But again, you can change your pen name at any time. It's very easy to do that with the Kindle book. As I said, you can just change the pen names and the book covers if you think maybe it is affecting your sales. So test it out if you want to, but have a look at the names other authors are using. Try and come up with something, read the name over and over to yourself, or ask somebody, a partner or a family member or something like that. Give them a series of names and ask them which one do they think is more closely to that genre that you're thinking of going into. Because unconsciously, if you do pick the wrong pen name, it may affect your sales in the long run, because unconsciously it's given somebody an idea of maybe not the ideal writer for that pen name. So I hope that's helped you out. I hope it's given you a couple of ideas. But again, if you are trying to come up with a pen name, do a Google search on name generators. Now, the one, as I said, I had found was an American one. Now, the reason I had chosen an American pen name was because I was going into romance fiction and I was looking at kind of Western romance, mail order bride romance, so going back. So I wanted a kind of American type sounding name, so that's why I had chosen the American version for the pen name in that. But play around with the pen names, but give some thought to it, and if you think maybe it's affecting your sales, it's very easy to just change that pen name over. But if you are maybe going into a niche or a genre that you've never written in before and you'd like to be a little bit of a comfort blanket to hide behind, I would recommend picking a unique pen name and writing behind that for a while, and then if it does get successful, then maybe you can step out from that if you want to, or you can just continue to hide behind that pen name in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you have any questions like the one I covered today, you'd like me to cover it in any videos, you're very welcome to send an email to barryjmcdonald@gmail.com, or if you'd like to know more about what I do, where all these videos are going, and all the self-publishing courses I have, and book promotion courses, and the membership we have over on our site, which is writecom.com. That's WRITECOME.com. You're very welcome to drop by, and we have a lot of great content over there. So as always, thanks for sharing your time again today, and take care and have a great day. Bye bye.